Hey there everyone, Hitesh here, and are you guys ready for a story? If no, right now is your cue to leave. But if you're ready for the story, let me begin this story. This story is all about the era of the revolution and evolution as well in the industry of advertisement. When I say the word advertisement, majority of us believe that advertisement is wrong. It's all evil. It is not. Advertisement is not totally evil. If I'm looking to buy a Canon camera and I see an advertisement that instead of this Canon camera you can buy this another Canon camera in the same price, I think that's a great advertisement. Great for me, great for company as well. But if I'm receiving the advertisement that says buying this camera will make you world's best photographer within 2 days to ever live on the planet, that's deceiving. Marketing can be as creative and as deceiving as you like. With this ground fact clear to all of us, let me start the story of this advertisement industry. In the previous days, advertisement was all about billboards, hoarding, or as a max in the TVs. And that's all about it. But things were changing over the time. Eventually, Google was dominating and majority of the time people were spending on this gigantic search engine, Google. So Google already had nailed down this advertisement, not to up to great extent as we are seeing in 2020, but up to a great extent. People were spending money on the advertisement on Google. And Google knew that this advertising space in the world of internet is gonna dominate in the future. So things were shifting online. The era of Google advertisement in the early days was pretty simple. We had just two types of advertisement at a max. The first is when you search for a product, you see 4 or 5 listing of the paid result, or called as sponsored advertisement results. Or the other one of that was shotgun marketing, where people were spending lots of money in all the blog posts that were associated with Google and were just scattering around their ads, believing that one day or the other you will see that. So this was all going great until 2003-ish. That was the first time when the very first time this social media came into the presence. But let me remind you, at that time nobody knew that social media is gonna become this much popular. It was becoming a trend. Everybody wanted to get a pie of this big social media, but they were not even aware that how this can be used in the marketing later on. But surely they knew that there was an audience and we can serve them ads later on. So 2003 was kind of a benchmark. Now let me also remind you that 2003 was not the very first time when this social media came into picture. It was already there, but it was the very first time that this social media thing came into the picture. MySpace was really the gigantic first thing which took attention that yes, this is something. The real war of the advertisement came into existence in 2004. This was the time when two big giants of today, not at that time, came into the picture and wanted to have a battle. The first one was Orkut, the second one was Facebook. Orkut was backed by Google a little after that, and it was gaining a lot of popularity. It was not like Facebook was the ultimate winner in the very first day. They reached out to the final zone of the war. But end of the day, we all know that Orkut was gaining popularity, but somehow Facebook was like this beast which was unleashed and it took over everything. But there was something different here. Orkut was having good amount of data about the user, but not as good as Facebook. Facebook was uniquely different from Orkut because people were giving the unique data sets and data points which nobody has ever seen. People were deliberately giving information like what's my interest, programming or photography, where is my education, where I lived, where I'm gonna live, what are the places I like, and these unique data sets made Facebook immensely powerful. So powerful that not only advertisers can benefit from these unique data sets, but also some of the political campaigns can actually mind wash people entirely. And that's where the problem in the Facebook started to show up to all of us. Now, it's not like Facebook automatically captured these data points. These data points were given by the public deliberately to Facebook to modify our experience much more, find more friends that were from school or maybe from old life. But these data sets are something really, really super powerful. And giving these data sets access to somebody else through the API was another corner case, which I think nobody can foresee this future. But again, this was really the point where Facebook became gigantic and almost choked down the Orkut. Now let me remind you again, this was the time when everybody was going after becoming giant. The advertisement was still not in the picture. Yes, definitely new players came into the picture, like YouTube, Instagram, and others as well. There was no shortage of it. But one thing that got everybody's attention in 2006 was Twitter. Now, Twitter is really powerful, and it became from the very start that it's a very powerful social media, small microblogging kind of a website. But instead of grabbing the attention more over the advertisement, it got attention more over of celebrities and especially the trolls. The feeling of dopamine of trolling a celebrity was really great, that I was able to troll that celebrity and he was nothing in front of me. The release of a small dopamine for a second, it really got a lot of attention. But the problem with the Twitter, still to the date, is it is not having that much of the data points that Facebook is holding up. Everything about us, from my childhood photos to my memories, what I did on that day, what I wanted to do, where I went on vacation, everything was there. And the management, the storage of these data points is remarkable. It's something next to anything. But this was not all like it. Another giant which was able to pull down all of these data points also came into the picture. In 2008, LinkedIn came into the picture. Now together, all of these really got the advertising market totally changed. Now Facebook was able to offer their advertisers all these data points so that they can precisely target their ads, but LinkedIn also took it one step further. LinkedIn was completely different as a social media compared to Facebook, and people understood it. Now, although nobody is stopping you on LinkedIn to become the CEO of LinkedIn or posting as I'm the next YouTube CEO, you can 100% do it, but majority of people don't like to do it. On Facebook, people sometimes post misinformation deliberately, but on LinkedIn, people automatically avoid to do it because of the jobs, because of moreover a kind of a formal approach over the social media. And this is why till date, in 2020 also, LinkedIn advertisement is one of the most expensive advertisement because of the data points that he was able to collect. By the word he, I mean to say LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has all the data points. What is my current job? Am I looking for a job? Where I spend my time, which companies I have worked in the past. So these data points were more accurate, but not as vast as Facebook. And now is the era where these data points are being used. But remember one thing, LinkedIn got the popularity, Twitter got the popularity, Facebook is already a giant. Who is missing out in the picture? Yes, the Google is still missing out in the picture. Google, the giant who is one of the topmost leader in the industry of the advertisement, was lagging a little bit behind. Surely YouTube gave it a lot of boost that how the advertisement industry can be moved further, one step further. But it's not about just the YouTube. Google also wanted to have a pie of this social media platform for the advertisers. And a company at a scale of Google is missing out in advertisement. It's not really good. So Google tried a couple of times with the things like Google+, but people didn't adopt it, didn't like it. They were not really familiar with the Google+. Google also even tried that I should force people to use these Google+ by having Google+ accounts and everything. Didn't work out with people. But now I think that Google has finally cracked down what should be its pie or its piece of pie from this social media. Google is now using its biggest weapon, the search engine, in moving into the space of social media. And they are calling it as people's card. And yes, that's the end of story. Now I have to create a Google card for me so that I can deliberately put all of the information about my education, about my interest on the Google's people card. Let me do that. Yes, I'll make this card, and probably you have already made it or probably will be making it in a few minutes. So this is what all I wanted to say. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you share it with your friends as well. And let's catch up in another video.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up.